What's up, party people? All right, looks like we already got some people showing up. That's pretty good. That's always a good sign. But as per usual, we're gonna give everybody a few minutes to trickle in. And if you're trickling in now, please don't be shy. Say what's up in the chat. Let me know who's here. And of course, I will get us all set in the meantime. Got a pretty good program ready this evening. I'm very excited. We're going to be continuing our work on archetypes. Valerie, what's up? Betsy, what's good? Got my water. Got to have water. Stay hydrated. All right, we got Mary in there. Hello, hello. Letra. America. Hello. All right. I don't think I've seen America here before. Where are you from? We got Marty here. Jennifer, all about the hydration. Yes. Stay hydrated. Hydro homies. Cece's here. Good to see you again. I'm pretty excited for today's session. I'm always excited for these. This is such a treat for me to dive into these prompts and break out of my usual headspace. Marty says it's his first time here. That's awesome. Any other newbies tonight? Any other first timers? Elizabeth Ann, good to see you again. All right, so yeah, these days we're it's pretty usual for us to get a few first timers on these things, which is great because it means we're growing. But let me give you the rundown of what we do here. So, welcome to Journal Party. This is an awesome little self-reflective collective, as I like to call it. But I'm glad you found us. It's been quite a journey. I guess we've been going for about a year and a half now, ish, maybe close to 2 years, and it's really just starting to grow and get really fun. And basically, it started off as I guess it started off as just a podcast, and then we started. We built an app. And then, the vision for the app was kind of to be like a guided journaling sort of thing, kind of like the Calm app, but instead of meditation for journaling. And out of that, so we had the podcast, we had the app, and then eventually we started doing these live streams every week. And so every Wednesday, we try to do every Wednesday. Sometimes we do it on Fridays, or if it's holidays or whatever, we'll skip a week. But just about every week we get together, usually on Wednesday nights, and we like to go through the new programs in the app usually. And basically, let me just pull it up so you guys can see it. So this is the app here. And so inside of the app, we have all sorts of guided journaling programs here. As you can see, we've got, free stuff, we got the premium stuff, and then, we've got the live sessions hosted in here. So if you ever miss one of these, you can always go into the Journal Party Live sessions, Journal Party Live section here and catch the replays there. We've got the podcast stuff in there. We've got prompts for therapy. If you're in therapy, there's, stuff to do before and after your sessions to, get more out of it. I actually made that for myself because I felt like I was wasting time. But anyway, I digress. So what we usually do is, even though this is usually $5 a month. We usually debut the premium programs in here for free. So tonight, we're going to be going through our newest program. It's part of our shadow work series, although, it's not purely shadow work here, but I would call it shadow work adjacent. And it's a continuation of where we left off last week. Last week, what we did was Archetypes, a Jungian journey. So if any of you are familiar with the work of Carl Jung, he came up with this concept of archetypes, and I'll give you guys a little bit of a primer on that. Some people expanded on the work of Carl Jung and created some additional archetypes. And that's what we're going to be going through tonight. And so inside of this app, this is not like your normal journaling app. You don't write into the app. It's designed to be a companion to your physical journal. I've always been a pen and paper journaler, and also as the developer of this app, I really don't want to have your personal thoughts in my possession. I'm not trying to be responsible for your data. So the idea is just to open it up next to your journal. And what we do, we create these things called power prompt playlists. So it's a fancy way of saying, it's a list of journal prompts. And we also have player controls. So, each of these represents a different prompt. And when you hit the Start Now button, it will show one of the prompts, and there's a timer. So we allot a certain amount of time for each prompt. And there's also player controls. So you can skip around, you can pause if you need more time. And it's just kind of a cool way to get a more focused and productive session with your journal. And so we have all these different topics you can go through at your own leisure. But for the purposes of tonight's session, we're just going to go through this one, and we're going to abide by the time that we've allotted for these prompts. In this case, there's 10 prompts, and we're going to do 3 minutes per prompt. Of course, if you need more time, you can always earmark it and go back and watch the live, or if you're on premium, you can go through on the app and do it that way, whatever works for you. And on that note, there's no wrong way to do this. That's kind of one of the mantras here at Journal Party. Just start writing. There's really no wrong way to do this, other than not doing it, right? So just read the prompt, take a moment to consider what you've read, and if the words don't flow, maybe write about that, right? So whatever it is that comes up for you in the moment, just start to explore that, and don't be surprised if the insights come a little bit later, right? So just have fun with this, right? Make it yours. And of course, I would love to hear whatever feedback you have, and I would love for this to be I want it to be as much yours as it is mine, right? So definitely let me know. Let me know if you have any ideas for this in the future or anything like that. But all right. So with that said, I hope you guys are excited about this. And I've noticed in watching some of the replays myself that I can get a little bit long-winded. So I've prepared a bit of a primer here for tonight. So I'm just going to read that off for us all to get us ready for tonight's session, and then I'll kick us off. So if you don't mind, I'm going to read that off for us, and then we'll get this party started. So welcome to Archetype Discovery, Unveiling Your Mythic Self. Tonight, we're going to be embarking on a captivating journey into the world of archetypes, those universal mythic characters residing within our collective psyche. In this guided journaling program, we will explore 10 powerful archetypes that resonate through stories and cultures, helping us to understand ourselves and the roles that we play in life's narrative. Each prompt is designed to introduce you to a different archetype, the hero, the mentor, the caregiver, and more, providing insight into how these figures manifest in your own experiences, relationships, and personal growth. So whether you're new to the concept of archetypes or looking to deepen your existing knowledge, this journey will offer profound insights and inspire reflection, hopefully. So get ready to discover surprising aspects of yourself and unveil your mythic self. Now, you might be wondering, what is an archetype if you weren't on the last session? So just as a reminder, an archetype is a universally recognizable pattern, symbol, or character type that recurs across cultures and literature. originally introduced by the Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung, archetypes represent typical human experiences that are embedded in the collective unconscious, the part of the unconscious mind that is derived from ancestral memory and experience and is common to all humankind. Archetypes serve as foundational elements for understanding human behavior, motivations, and the roles individuals play in society. They appear in myths, fairy tales, and modern media, expressing shared experiences and emotions that resonate deeply with people. For example, the hero archetype represents courage and adventure, while the mother archetype symbolizes nurturing and protection. In literature and storytelling, archetypes help to craft characters and narratives that feel familiar and relatable, tapping into shared human experiences and emotions. In psychology, they can be used to interpret dreams or guide personal development by helping individuals understand the various roles that they play in life and their interactions with others. Archetypes provide a framework for exploring the diverse aspects of the self, with capital S, and the universal experiences that shape human existence. So, with that said, I'm going to get this party started. I'm going to hit the start now button. So go ahead and open up that journal. Hopefully, you got a fresh page ready. And we'll count us down. Let's party. The hero. The hero is known for bravery and overcoming challenges. Think of a moment when you acted courageously. How did this experience change you? The mentor. Mentors provide guidance and wisdom. Reflect on a time when you helped someone else grow. What did you learn about yourself through teaching? The caregiver. The caregiver shows compassion and dedication to supporting others. Consider how this nurturing side influences your relationships and personal boundaries. Next up is the trickster. Tricksters use wit and cunning to subvert norms. Recall a situation where your creativity helped you overcome an obstacle. What did you discover about your problem-solving capabilities? Abilities. The lover. The lover is all about deep affection and connection. Explore a relationship or passion that deeply influences you. How does this shape your approach to love and life? The rebel. Rebels stand against conventions to forge new paths. Think about a time when you challenged a norm. What motivated you and what was the outcome? The creator. Creators find joy and fulfillment in making things. Describe something you've created or want to create. What inspires your creativity? The ruler. Rulers seek control and command. Reflect on your leadership style. How do you influence others, and how do you manage responsibilities and power? The magician. Magicians transform reality through vision and skill. Describe a change you initiated or a significant transition in your life. What was your role in this transformation? The sage. Sages value wisdom and understanding. Think about your approach to learning and knowledge. How has your pursuit of education shaped your view of the world? All right. How did everybody do? Let me know in the comments. So for all you newbies, typically what we do after we finish up with the prompts is we share our insights. So you never have to share what you wrote, but oftentimes as we get pretty deep in these things, we tend to emerge with some insights. And as we are a bit of a tribe, a bit of a community, it's fun to share some of our insights, our wisdom, our knowledge with each other. And that's how we grow, and it's fun to grow together. So I understand sometimes it can take a minute to type in the chat, so I can usually kick us off, but feel free to share whatever you like or not. It's your party. And also, as we've grown, we're kind of starting to get to know each other, so feel free to share anything else as well. If there's something that you're proud of that's happening in your life that we can celebrate, feel free to humble brag, let us celebrate you. If there's something that you need support with and thoughts and prayers, happy to hold space for you there as well. And whatever it is, I think we're a special kind of people that are willing to do this kind of work. And so I want to honor that and thank you all for being here. And I think I had fun with this, so I hope you did as well. I think what was it? I had a pretty interesting insight emerge. I've always fancied myself sort of a creator. When I was young, I played a lot of music. I used to be in like traveling rock bands and stuff like that. My mom hated that because she wanted me to focus on school and stuff. I did well in school, but rock bands were way more fun. And beyond that, after I got out of school, I was an entrepreneur for a long time, and would make all sorts of like websites and businesses and stuff like that. And I forget how the prompt was exactly worded, but it was like something along the lines of like, what was your motivation for creating all this stuff? And I was just thinking about that. And also I created Journal Party, right? And it was an interesting thing. Like I was thinking about like all the different motivations for why I created stuff. And it's like, sometimes, I created stuff for, self-expression, sometimes for growth, sometimes for money, sometimes for recognition, and sometimes for higher ideals, at least in my opinion, higher ideals, things like love and shared joy. And actually, when I reflected on all of that, I realized that the things that have actually stood the test of time and the things that like have really lasted, the creations that I've made that have really lasted, were the ones that were kind of created, out of those higher ideals. Like I've got some businesses that are kind of still around and stuff like that do pretty well, but like the stuff that like that really stuck, it were the ones that were created out of those higher ideals, which is just kind of an interesting thing to take a look at. So I don't know, that was an interesting insight that I pulled, and pretty cool reflection. So I see some stuff coming up in the chat, so I'm going to take a look here and see what you all are saying. Wow, okay, we got a lot of people in here. Okay, lots of newbies. Rachel, welcome. Mary, I hope you enjoyed that lasagna. Okay. Wow, okay. Okay, Sheila's new. Welcome. Tina, you'll have to catch the replay. Yep, Ruby, lots of journaling ideas for self-growth. Okay, Cece learned that she would like to be more creative. Always good to be creative. That was another insight. Well, and just sort of like, I don't know if I'd call it an ideal, but sort of like another one of like those mantras that I kind of hold is that I think there's a creative solution to every problem. Which is kind of funny because the Trickster prompt, was kind of hinting at that, and I was actually having trouble finding a problem that I had solved creatively. Go figure. Jennifer says, thank you. This would be a fun activity to flesh out characters as well. Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's interesting. I'm curious if you do if you do like creative writing or anything like that. Mary, I think I'm a rebel. That's yeah. I I for me, I can be. I'm usually not a rebel. Actually, I think I was probably like a pretty a pretty good kid, a goody two shoes a little bit, um, growing up. But as I've gotten older, I more rebellious. When I was doing the prompts, I realized that like my whole adult life and like professional life has been somewhat rebellious. I graduated graduated college in 2008, which is like the worst year to graduate ever, with the job market and whatnot, which sort of like forced me into like being rebellious because there was like no jobs. So like what else could I do other than like have sort of like a rebellious career track? And so that sort of like started me, I mean, I'm sure my parents would have loved me to like have like a normal career trajectory, but like it just launched me on this like crazy whirlwind of like being in touring rock bands and like starting up businesses and doing all this crazy stuff, like being an actor. And like, I'm sure my parents hated that, but I mean, I don't know. I have had a really interesting and fun life. So, I mean, there's some hard times that came along with it, but, the outcome was ultimately pretty good. So, I think, the reality is I don't think anyone is really any single, one of these things. I mean, maybe we probably like trend or, we probably tend towards like, certain one of these like a little bit more than others, but I think that's sort of like the idea of this whole thing, is that really all of these are just like fragments of a greater self, and to kind of get insights on how all of these sort of make up that greater self. It can make you more complete, more whole. Patricia says, choice of background music tonight, very good. I'll be up late tonight expanding on my thoughts. Well, don't stay up too late. Gotta get up early. Well, you don't do whatever you want. I don't know why I said that. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you liked the music. Tonight's choice was an ambient playlist from our courtesy of our royalty-free partners. So I'm glad you liked it. Sherry says, I realize how much my writing has improved my ability to handle and learn from the hard times in life and appreciate the good times. Yeah. That's wisdom, I was picking up on that last prompt, for me. It's real easy when you're in the shit. Sorry, excuse my language, to get down on stuff. But, the big wheel keep on turning. And, when you look back on it, it's all part of the journey. And, we're always learning and growing. And I think it's really cool that we're all here learning, growing together. Maybe we can all benefit from each other's stuff. Maybe we can all be mentors, be the mentor archetype to each other a little bit. Echo May says, just curious, how do you pick the journal prompt choice for the week? So that's a good question. So I use an app called Notion, and it's kind of similar to like OneNote or Evernote, and it's basically just a note-taking app. And in there, I keep a file where I keep different categories. And so like you'll notice inside of the app, inside of the program section, I've already divided it into like personal growth and like gratitude and, shadow work, relationships. Like, I already have these like bigger macro, broader categories. And also like I kind of do it like based off how like whatever I'm going through and like whatever I want to journal about, selfishly a little bit. But one of the things that I do to kind of prime my creativity every morning is I do morning pages, Julia Cameron style. So that's sort of like my daily practice is, I get up and do 3 pages stream of consciousness, just morning pages. And, kind of shakes out what I like to call the head garbage. And, whatever BS I'm starting the day with, like, you know, after about 2 pages, you know, that's all out on the page. And then what emerges is, you know, sort of this like creative version of the self, you know, after all the nonsense is, you know, shook out, you know, that then it's sort of like, all right, you know, it's like a blank page, almost like a blank slate for, you know, creativity to emerge. And so once my creativity is primed, you know, then I can start to get a little bit more intentional with my day. And so then I start doing, you know, gratitude and goals and stuff like that. And, you know, one of my goals is always to, you know, create really, you know, helpful things for this community. And so I'll open up that Notion file. I'll see, you know, what we haven't done in a while or what needs to be created. And then, you know, I just I do research. So I'll go into Google. I'll look for, I'll literally type in like, what are some good, you know, journal prompts for this stuff. And, you know, I try not to, you know, steal stuff, but, you know, Google will literally, you know, surface stuff from, you know, psychological articles and stuff like that. And so I'll sort of like, you know, try to riff off those prompts and you know, pull a little bit of this, a little bit of that. When it's headier stuff, like when it's mental health kind of, when it's mental health oriented, I'll, you know, ask my therapist about stuff, you know, and kind of pull prompts from the stuff that we're working on. So it's, you know, a little bit better informed. Or, you know, I also have some counselors and therapists that are advisors to this group as well. And so, you know, I'll ask for their advice to, you know, for them to sound off on anything that's, you know, that I'm not an expert at, because I don't want to lead anybody astray. And, you know, on that note, I always like to caution this, like, I am not a mental health expert. So, you know, even though I consider myself, you know, pretty well versed in, you know, a lot of this stuff, always, you know, be wary of talking heads online. Like, don't just, you know, listen to any schmo online who's, you know, giving you advice, especially in the arena of mental health. And if any of this stuff ever gets difficult for you, or challenging, especially with the shadow work stuff that, you know, or the mental health stuff, that can get, you know, it can get challenging, right? Earmark it. You know, if it's getting too uncomfortable, you don't necessarily have to keep digging. You can, you know, make a note of it and bring it to a professional who can, you know, really help you work through that stuff. It's good that you're bringing it up. It's good that you're becoming aware of it. But then, you know, get help, work on it with someone who can help you. And I've done that personally. And, you know, I used to be the kind of guy who would, like, just kind of scoff at that because of, you know, all sorts of stigmas and whatnot. But thank God I got over that, because my life has just totally taken a turn for the better ever since I got over that. So that's my, I'll get off the soapbox about that. But yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of different ways I kind of curate these prompts, but, you know, I hope you guys enjoy them. Sherry says, the creator section prior to this starting tonight, I was in my garage working on a Jawa Star Wars costume. I hope to get it done before Saturday, since it is National Star Wars Day. I've been wearing a Jedi costume for the past 10 years. That's pretty awesome. That's great. I would love to see it. You should post a picture when you're done in the group. Oh, you got Mary on YouTube, our sole YouTube viewer. I write about being mentored when I was young. Now that I work with students, I say the same things my mentor used to tell me. I want to inspire kids by publishing books and starting a podcast. That's awesome. Yeah, well, you know, I've actually been in the podcast space for a while, so you know, if you ever need any help with that, let me know. That's one thing I kind of forgot about that. I used to do voice acting on a couple podcasts, so if you ever want to do a deep dive on Alex Gallner, you can hear me voicing a very popular podcast called The Bright Sessions. Yeah, gosh, I forgot I did that. Yeah, so I've done audio drama and stuff, and now the Journal Party podcast, which is super fun. Definitely check that out every Monday. It's one of my favorite things to do. But yeah, let me know if you need any help with that stuff. But yeah, that's really awesome. You know, I think I'm just sort of starting to, you know, get interested in, you know, doing the mentorship thing myself. I hadn't really like considered it until recently. I've always sort of considered myself like too young to do that. But, I mean, I'm getting close. I'm closer to 40 than I am than I am 20 these days. So I'm like, okay, like, maybe now that I'm a little bit more established, I can start to build bridges for younger generations. So that's awesome. That's cool. Let me know if there's any way we can support you, Mary. And then we've got another Mary says, pretty good. Well, glad you liked it. Valerie says, I think I'm a little of everything, but the creator is me most of the time. I like to write and paint. I even have an art journal that has all kinds of art stuff in it. That's cool. I've always been a just written journal. I've never done really any. I do that in a bullet journal. It's just, I guess, another kind of written journal. But it's cool as we've got other people, more people joining the group. I'm seeing there's people doing like the junk journal stuff and all the other stuff. So yeah, I mean, please share. It doesn't have to just be written journal stuff. I mean, it is for pen and paper journalers, but please feel free to share whatever you got going on. I mean, I think it's all adjacent. That's my word of the day. I've said it like 4 times already. Patricia's retired, she's sleeping. Yeah, good for you. Awesome. Mary's the only YouTuber and a Bright Sessions fan. Right on. Actually, you know what? I can't. I was gonna spoil something. I can't. Lauren Shippen will kill me, so I won't do that. Forget. Delete. All right. Jennifer says, I have the privilege of coordinating our regional educator mentor program. That's awesome. Well, congratulations on that. That's such a powerful way to learn and help others grow. Yeah, I'm sort of finding that out. We've got actually, had a mentorship opportunity come my way last night, and I kind of jumped at it. I didn't even realize it was there, and I was like, I'm gonna go for this one. There's a bright young guy. He's I'm an advisor for a company. You wouldn't care what the company is, but he's he's on the marketing team there. He's like fresh out of college and really bright kid, and really eager to learn. He's got all this energy, and it's like kind of like a young me. And fortunately, he's got a job waiting for him out of school, which is great. So. Maybe you can steer the guy away from some of the pitfalls I've encountered, and get him on the fast track to the success I've enjoyed. But yeah. Mary says the lasagna wasn't bad. Good. I'm really glad. All right, folks. Well, we're coming up on an hour of this live stream, and it seems like the insights have stopped pouring through. So, folks, I want to thank you for another fun session of Journal Party Live. This thing just keeps growing, keeps getting better and better, and I have you to thank for all of that. And so the Archetypes was fun. Oh, my lights just went off. That's how we know it's the timer's going off. So it's about time to wrap this up. Thank you so much for attending. I believe we'll be good to go for next Wednesday, unless something random happens, in which case I'll obviously keep all of you informed. Let me know if there's anything you want to see in upcoming sessions. Keep an eye out for next Monday's Journal Party podcast, and have a great rest of your week. Have a great weekend. Love y'all, and as always, party on.